Again. Ooh, another question. When the girl starts telling you about the other guys, she says that that's important, right? When the girls start telling you about other guys, she says that that's important, right? I say, yeah, I get it. I think I get it. What do you think?
I don't know what the question is.
Maybe,
I can't tell what the question is.
Maybe like she's indicating like that she's banged some of your friends.
I don't know. If Stan can, here's the deal. Generally, and this is from Chateau too. And this isn't just where she's like informing you of other men. This is where like they'll bitch, like her ex-boyfriend, and it's been going back and forth.
Yeah.
Your job is to cut it off and redirect to something more interesting to you. And you can just say, hey, don't you have any like girlfriends that you can talk to about this stuff? I don't think I'm the right person.
That's the perfect way to handle it.
And have one or two very diplomatic lines that you can shut it down.
Yeah.
And girls will do this because one, they either don't know any better.
Right.
Or they got away with it in the past and they think they can get away with it with you.
But they're testing.
Yeah, they're testing. I don't think it's a conscious test because they just like to bitch.
Yeah.
But you have to shut that off and they will shut it. I mean, most girls, I've noticed that if you make a subtle diplomatic correction in this vein, they will take the redirection well, and then give them something else to talk about.
Right.
It could be astrology or horoscopes or.
And here's the deal, Stan, and anyone else dealing with this is most girls have the wherewithal to not talk about any other man. Right. Whether it's another guy she's dating, whether it's a brother, dad, anything, early on especially, because she does not want you thinking that she's a slut who's, fucking everyone. And so, or that she's, you've got a lot of competition in that kind of way, because it's a turnoff,
And I've seen tweets from girls where they inadvertently brought up a guy in a conversation with the guy she was dating, and he completely did a 180.
Yeah.
And they're like, and these are girls, I mean, you get the whole spectrum. Some girls know better. Some girls learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Because all she has to do is like lose one or two guys that she really wanted to date or she found interesting to this, and she'll stop doing it.
Yeah.
A lot of it's learned the hard way. But some are a little bit thicker headed than others. So you have to cut them off.
Well, and I do think that I could see girls and this may be what you're running into as much as anything, Stan, based on the other thing, the ways you're filling in the gaps, is it may be kind of like you're telling stories about different girls and stuff. And again, don't know if it's yesterday, 16 years ago, a friend, someone you're banging regularly, whatever. And so therefore she starts telling stories. And it's kind of like, if he's got all these girls, I'm gonna talk about
there
the
is
guys.
projection.
And so then, forgetting the fact that that's not a turn on to you.
To men,
yeah. So I can think of stories that you've told me about, kind of that happening in your world. It's like, even and as a player, and saying you're a player, who's running rotations of girls and really has no problem picking up, banging, and keeping them around for as little or as much as you want, they know that you are. And just like we've talked about, like, girls will be like, okay, this is the last time we can have sex. I'm getting really serious with this other guy. And you knew about him the whole time, but he doesn't know about you.
Nor will he ever know.
Yeah. And so I think that that's kind of what.
Yeah, there is. Once you're kind of established.
Yeah.
You don't need, they kind of know that you are a player and you have experience and you're very okay with a casual setup.
Yeah.
You're going to hear about other men because she's not available.
Right.
Or she can do Thursday night up until this guy comes into town.
Yeah.
And they'll almost be apologetic about it.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre.
Yeah.
But when it switches over that they know that you're kind of a player and the deal, or like I always say, you're a guy that just gets it, they will be different about men around you.
Right.
But these other men do not know about you. They don't know about any of these guys.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So, because most girls, when they're looking for a husband or a serious boyfriend, they're going to see a few different guys.
Yeah, we don't have time to waste.
But smart girls don't ever mention it because they know that it causes trouble.
Right.
You know, or guys shut down and guys can hit the whole gamut. Most men, when a girl brings up other men, will not react like we do, which is to redirect her.
Yeah.
They will get mad.
Right.
And then the whole thing's over.
Yeah.
So they don't know how to process it, or they feel it's a personal, deeply held personal insult.
Yeah.
Or they just shut down. So that's how you handle it. Have a couple phrases like, "Hey, don't you have like girlfriends that you can talk to about this?"
Yeah.
And then redirect it to something more interesting.
Well, or in the case of like the way that you were with your different rotation girls, if they're bitching about someone, then there's that.
Yeah, you got to shut them down.
If they're kind of like bragging,
yes,
you could be like, you would ask them, you'd be like, well, I know about them. Do they know about me? And that changes the conversation.
Yeah, it really does. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. All right. On to the next, because that's the real deal.